Hey guys, thanks for watching and participating in our first of what is hopefully many to come myguntips.com postal matches. I want to go over kind of the rules of equipment and what equipment you need in a pretty detailed fashion, so there's no questions moving forward and everybody has a good reference point. Our goal really with this is to make it easy to set up and accessible for pretty much any shooter. So the drills that we're going to shoot, the basic outlay of what the match is going to be is one drill released on Friday morning or Thursday night rather. Release the drill Thursday night, and then you will have until the next Wednesday afternoon to submit scores to us via email along with video proof. And we'll talk about the video proof standards here in a few minutes as well, of what we need to see on your video submissions for score verification. But starting out with just the simple equipment that you need from a shooter's perspective. Of course, you need eye protection, ear protection, those types of basic safety equipment. And from there, the equipment that you need is actually pretty minimal, so there's not a lot of barriers to entry. You're going to need a holster, mag pouch, obviously a gun. In this case, we're going to stick exclusively to pistols. A note about pistols: whether you're shooting iron sights or dots, the way we've got it structured this time, we're lumping everybody in together. So as this event grows, which I hope to see, we'll look to break it out into optics and irons divisions. But the very first run, especially since the big prize package is given away by random drawing and not by actual scores, everybody's shooting heads up. Whatever you think is best is going to be what you need to be shooting. It does need to be a centerfire handgun that can be drawn from a holster. So, like I said, the holster is required. Throughout each drill, you're going to need a minimum of 2 magazines. Now, having 4, 5, 6 magazines might help with cycle time on a couple of the drills. So if you've got extra mags, by all means, you can use them. But you only actually need 2, which is, of course, what generally comes with most guns. Probably the most specialized piece of equipment that you will need is a shot timer. We do require you having a shot timer. Hopefully in the future we'll have some other solutions that are a little more future friendly, if you will, by utilizing some smartphones. But for now, we do need to have everything tracked with a shot timer, which leads us into the video standards that we're going to have with each drill that we're going to release. The drills are going to be indoor range friendly, meaning they're a single target or a single group of targets that can be fit on one backer board, so that anybody can do it. They don't have to have access to a bunch of props, walls, pepper poppers, things like that. So again, we want to make sure it's accessible to the large majority of shooters, especially given that it's starting to get cold out and people going out and setting up massive stages isn't really in the cards for the majority of people now. So they're going to have, like I said, a single target backer essentially, or a single target that you're going to use for each of the 4 drills that's going to be released as the weeks go on. The tiebreaker on some of those drills is going to be the single fastest time or single fastest string time of that particular week. So it's important that we have an accurate time on the shot timer, as well as everything being shown on video. Now, for the video standards, of course, we're going to have a detailed sheet that you can follow as well as a detailed video for each individual drill that we do, so that you can see the standards of the drill that we're working on. But universally, what we're going to need to see on the video is, of course, the shooter and the target in the single frame. At the beginning of the video, we need to see the measured distance on the ground using a tape measure, or if you're on an indoor range, if you have lines on the floor, things like that, or the keypad of which you're going to put the target distance in, show us that so that we can see that the target's at the right distance. We need to see that the target is new, fresh, doesn't have any holes in it, so that we know you're starting with a clean target. Everything has to be shot in a continuous, unedited, unaltered manner, right? So some of your guys' videos are going to get pretty long if you're just using a phone. Totally fine if you use a phone. Just make sure that it complies with the standards that we're asking you, so that we can ensure the validity of everybody's submission. So once you get back, like I said, we need to see the target and the shooter in the same frame that we saw, in the beginning. After each string of fire, we want you guys to show us the timer clearly, so that we can read the screen. And then when you're done, we want you to take the camera downrange and give us a nice close-up of the target or targets, so that we can ensure that the target score that's on the score sheet matches what was actually shot. Now here's another note about the multiple string drills. When we're shooting a drill with multiple strings, those strings have to be shot as a group of strings. So an example would be, I shoot 4 strings. I don't like the first one very much, so I think I'm just going to keep the last 3. That's not okay. We want to see the beginning and termination of 3 strings to count as a valid submission. So we can't have a rolling average, if you will. In that case, you say, oh, my first one wasn't good, so I'm just gonna shoot 1 extra here, and I'll keep those 3. That's not gonna work. And you can't cherry pick. You can't shoot 6 strings and keep your best 3 or 4 out of that. It has to be 3 strings shot as a group, just like you would in a regular match. Okay, you can't cherry pick, and unlike Steel Challenge, there's no throwaways here. That's pretty much it, guys. If you have any questions, of course, reach out to us. We're more than happy to help. If there's any points of clarification that come up that we didn't cover, of course, we're going to make sure those get pushed out to everybody as soon as there becomes a need, if there will be. Personally, I think this is going to go pretty smooth. Luckily with modern technology, we can keep police of this pretty easily. Thanks for watching, guys. Again, hope you have a fun time participating, and glad you're here with us.